Jaguars. Bill Jones along with Babe Laufenberg and Michael Irvin. And it is rare to play a preseason game on a Sunday at noon, but it's starting to feel a little bit more like regular season as the Cowboys now 10 days away from Tampa Bay. Bill Jones, Babe Laufenberg, and straight from the Potter's house on a Sunday at noon, it's Bishop T.D. Irvin joining the booth.
I wish, man. I wish. And I wish I had a chance to be at the Potter's house this morning, but I was flying in from New York.
All right, Babe, you love talking quarterbacks. How big a day is this for Cooper Rush?
Oh, it's a biggie. Obviously, he's now in the driver's seat. It's his job to lose at that backup quarterback position. I do think he'll play well today. He is going to face a Jacksonville defense that's going to be playing a lot of its starters today, Bill. Also excited, we're expected to see Trevor Lawrence, the first pick in the draft, one of those kind of once every 10-year guys that come along. It was Troy, then it was Peyton Manning, then, of course, it was Andrew Luck, and now it's Trevor Lawrence. But, Michael, both these teams are looking for their first win in the preseason. So does it matter to either of them?
I think it should matter to both of them in this sense, babe. And, you know, when you do finally start establishing teams, these games used to be very important. I know for us, they were very important. And you would see veterans lined up on the sideline looking, because we were looking to see who could we count on. Who could you also bring in that fold and say, hey, man, you ready to start playing with us? That's the greatest compliment a veteran can give one of these young guys when they come off the field. Hey, guy, you ready to start playing with us?
Well, you know who we can count on the sidelines once again this afternoon? That would be our own Kyle Yeomans roaming these sidelines. Let's check in with Kyle now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bill. Wanted to fill you in on a couple of coaching carousel news, and not necessarily job-wise, but in terms of calling plays. Last week we saw Joe Witt Jr. thrown into last-second duty, calling the plays defensively. He is doing that again today, and he's not alone. On the offensive side of the football, Doug Nussmeier, quarterbacks coach and former offensive coordinator, calling the plays as he was an offensive coordinator at the collegiate level with Alabama, Michigan, and Florida. He will call the plays for the first time as a professional coach for the offense today.
All right, Kyle, and we'll look forward to hearing from some of the veteran Cowboys players on the sideline throughout the game. Josh Lambo about to tee it up as we get set for the final preseason game of 2021, and it should be fun to see what Cowboys emerge as cut-down day in the National Football League. They got to get from 80 all the way down to 53 on Tuesday afternoon. And Mike McCarthy in his second year as the Cowboys head coach. Of course, on the other sideline, Urban Meyer in his first year at Jacksonville. We are set to go on a great Sunday afternoon in Arlington. Josh Lambo with the kick. And it is returnable.
Oh.
Johnny Dixon out past the 30-yard line. Nice return and good field position for Cooper Rush and this Cowboys offense. Cooper Rush, who a couple of years ago was the backup quarterback to Dak Prescott. And you see his numbers during the preseason as Rush played very well last week in a loss to the Houston Texans. He was 10 out of 12 throwing the football. Cowboys starting at their own 32-yard line here. And you'll see a lot of starters in there for Jacksonville, both on offense and defense. A little different approach for Urban Meyer. And that's Simi Fehoko, the draft pick out of Stanford, on the first completion of the day for Cooper Rush. Let's take a look at the Miller Lite starters for the Cowboys as Brandon Knight, who started a number of games for the Cowboys at left tackle last year, back there again to start this one. Terrence Steele at right tackle. We'll also see him on the left side, and some of the skill position guys. Brendan Knox in the backfield. We already saw Fehoko. Malik Turner, a big opportunity for the veteran wide receiver trying to win a roster spot. 2nd and 10 from the 32. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
This is a definite disadvantage for Cooper Rush trying to make things happen for Mike McCarthy and his football team, because again, he's got the 2s up there and in some situations the 3s, and he's going against starters for Jacksonville.
That's big Roy Robertson Harris out of South Grand Prairie High School in UTEP.
Yeah,
batting the ball down. So 3rd and 10 from the 32.
Hold on to your horses here.
Has time and overshoots the intended target in double coverage on the far sideline.
Not a good decision there by Cooper because he is double covered, Michael. You talked to me about this route.
Yeah, and it looked like he was almost throwing it just didn't to the guy over down that sideline. So it really, I don't know.
The corner just
who
fell
was
off.
trying to throw to. Right.
Yeah.
It was a trap coverage. But that
corner
was
comes
nothing
off
there
and-
anyway.
yeah.
The best thing was for him to throw that ball, airmail that ball, and get it out of bounds and kick the ball.
I think at the last minute, Cooper Rush adjusted his throw there and said, hey, I got to get this into the bench.
But taken at the 15-yard line and with some running room down the sideline, Pharaoh Cooper tackled out of bounds at the 33-yard line. A return of a 53-yard punt and a return of 18 for Cooper. And Malik Hooker, who is fresh off the COVID list this past week, got activated on Friday, and he is in the starting lineup for the Cowboys on Sunday. And it was interesting before the game, Jerry Jones on Countdown to Kickoff saying Malik Hooker has made this roster. Like the Cowboys, Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville starting at their own 32-yard line on the first possession. First down pickup of about 6 yards. Completion to James O'Shaughnessy is tight end. The Miller Lite defensive starters for the Cowboys, Bradley Anai, second-year man out of Utah. Rondale Carter, the other defensive end. Linebackers are Luke Gifford and the 4th-round pick out of LSU, Jabril Cox, who's had a nice preseason. Hooker, one of the safeties. Kelvin Joseph and Deshaun Wright, the 2 rookies at cornerback. 2nd and 4 from the 38. Lawrence going deep down the sideline. And inside the 25-yard line.
Man, what a great job of saving room on the sideline for that young quarterback, Trevor Lawrence right here. Watch how he straightened them back up right here. You know, a little push, but that was just kind of keeping his right here. I've always called that.
When Michael Irvin says a little
push. That's just a little push.
Well, he's just taking
That's not a push. That's just a finding arm. It wants to find the man, understand where he is, so you can make the play. That was a great play.
Philip Dorsett, you know where he learned that from. He's from the U, and he's from St. Thomas Aquinas, too.
Yes, he is.
James Robinson breaks a tackle, and he gets about 5 yards to the 19.
Where Trevor Lawrence, they think they have the answer there at quarterback. There's so many things that go into that quarterback being successful. The coaching staff, the people around you, the organization.
The system.
Yeah, I mean.
Right.
But in my mind, when you look at Trevor Lawrence, he literally checks every box that you're looking for in a quarterback, including a great head of lettuce on top of his head there, right?
2nd and 5. Not much there. Good run defense for the Cowboys.
Oh, man, I hope that's something you say all year. My God, that's not anything we heard last year at all.
Not at all.
Well, here's Cowboys last week against Houston. Houston was 0 for 10. They were 0 for the game on 3rd down. So see if the Cowboys can keep that 3rd down streak alive here.
3rd and 4 for Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence may be a little more difficult to defend here this afternoon.
Oh.
Wide open down the sideline. That's Pharaoh Cooper, and there is a flag down at the 14-yard line.
I think that's going to be turned down. Yep. They got a little hold out there, trying to little double move.
Holding. Defense number 28. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
Hold on Malik Cooper, and so it's a touchdown. Lawrence to Cooper.
Yeah, and listen, Cooper did a great job right here. You see how he sold that when he looked back? You have to start defending it, trying to come up and make the tackle. And at the same time he looked back, you saw Trevor Lawrence give that little fake that just sold a DB. That's a great throw. Great play.
Got both feet inbounds. And Josh Lambeau with the extra point. And just like that, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville goes 68 yards for the touchdown. Pharaoh Cooper, the receiving target. Seen him in practice here the last couple of weeks at the Star in Frisco. Babe, you're liking what you're seeing out of him.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Before the Arizona game and last week's game against Houston, they had almost what I call like a pro day. Dak was out there with Doug Nussmeier throwing, going through the routes, threw about 50 balls. Today they did not do that because, as we just saw there, he's been practicing, working some 11 on 11. So be surprised if he's not ready for that Tampa game on September 9th. Matter of fact, he will be.
Johnny Dixon on the return, not as much this time as he is brought down after a return of about 17 yards.
Holding. Receiving team, number 33. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Now is a good time to order a Papa John's pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
And Bill, going back to that touchdown by Jacksonville, they've had Trevor Lawrence on the field for 8 possessions. They had yet to score a touchdown up to that. So that was his first NFL touchdown pass. Now, something tells me, Michael, his career is going to be such that he will not keep that ball. There will be other bigger touchdowns thrown, but what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think there'll be bigger things than? But that's Jacksonville.
But that matters, though,
yeah.
Dave. That first one matters.
On Hardy, as the Cowboys start this possession deep in their own end of the field after the penalty, a pickup of about 3 for Hardy.
Yeah, that offensive line, this is the key for Dallas this year. And in a game like this, it's about finding some good guys that you know can back up that offensive line.
They found out they had to back up a lot of guys last year. I mean, lose a tackle, lose another tackle, lose Zach Martin at guard for 6 games.
Right.
Yep. That was crazy.
And Rush gets it to his wide receiver.
So we talk about that backup quarterback position, people trying to solidify a fight for that. There's also the swing tackle position. That's Terrence Steele out of Cibolo High School, by the way. Steele High School in Cibolo, Texas, I should say. And Steele does a nice job there. And remember, again, I talked to Nate Newton during training camp, and Steele has kind of rebuilt his body. And I said, well, why aren't they doing that in college? He said, they don't need to. He said, they're strong enough there that they handle who they're facing. You get to the NFL and you find out it better be a lot stronger.
Of course, he played at Texas Tech, was a 4-year starter at Texas Tech. That's Malik Turner again, who has experience in this league with Seattle. And he looked good early on in training camp, then got hurt. Now he's back.
Yeah, you see, they're giving him some opportunities to really look good here.
So
now, babe, what you were talking about too, I talked to Nate about that also. I said, Nate, and I was joking with him on the pregame. I said it's great to rebuild your body, but if you get beat so much, you got to also rebuild your mind. You know what I mean? To make sure that you're ready for what's about to happen.
And not much there for Hardy as he is game tackled, especially for a guy coming off a rookie season. And in fact, he wasn't drafted. He was an undrafted guy out of Texas Tech. And to get thrown into the mix for 14 starts as a rookie is pretty much unheard of on a team that is considered to be a contender when the season started.
I remember Eric Williams getting thrown in like that and getting beat down. And looking over like somebody help, and no help came, but he started manning his area.
Did he ever?
Hardy trying to get outside, gets past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
I will tell you, Michael, talking about Eric Williams, right tackle for the Cowboys, who played so great over there. Kind of got overlooked because of all the other big names on that offensive line, but the battles that he would get into with Reggie White. Now, you watch a football game, you want to watch him throw, and when they went at it, I used to poke my eyes. I want to see what's happening. Right tackle and Reggie White.
It was simply to get over the top, because once we knew we had somebody to take care of Reggie White, everybody else could focus on doing their job.
And by the way, he became one of those guys that when you get off the bus, and Eric Williams is one of those guys getting off the bus, that you talk about that mindset, Michael, and he said it. Cannot connect on 3rd down, and as Cooper gets hit that time.
You know, and we talked about Cooper Rush going with the second team and third team offensive line against starters on defense there. Just throws this one a little bit earlier than he'd like to, but here comes the pressure. He's got to get rid of this football, and consequently it's a little bit of an errant throw. The ball needs to be out to the sideline. Little comeback here, and the ball is behind him. But again, Michael, I think if he has just a half-second more time, he may hit that one.
And that's where people talk about the timing and the chemistry between quarterback and wide receiver. I've run that route a million times, babe, and I guarantee you we can make that play. But here, they need more time working.
Jacksonville back on offense next. No, we're getting close to the regular season when you see the playmaker on the big screen in AT&T Stadium, getting the troops fired up, Michael Irvin.
You know what I love, Michael? If you were ever, in the old days, like a dated door-to-door salesman, I would have just bought it. You would have said, I haven't told you what I'm selling. I said, I don't care, I want it.
Yeah, it's, that ability to convince or confuse. Either way, you're on my side. That's good. I can take that.
I love that. Convince or confuse.
Trevor Lawrence still in there at quarterback to Pharaoh Cooper. And Michael Irvin back in the playing days.
Look at that. Can those hips still move like that, Michael, or are those
not.
They're behind you?
But you know, it's even interesting as we watch all of this mess here and all the new rules where everybody's talking about in the NFL now. No taunting. There's taunting, but then there's also getting yourself prepared to play. And a lot of times, I was getting myself prepared to play. Now, sometimes I did taunt.
But signaling a first down, as that one's complete to James O'Shaughnessy for a first down. Signaling a first down would not be taunting, though, would it?
No, that is preparing me, myself, and my team. Great distance, my dad would say. Great men see farther than they can run. So great distance, when you have great distance to go, he would always say, make sure you have small celebrations in that great distance. So the first downs became the small celebrations. We get enough of those, then we get the big celebrations, which is a touchdown. That's all I was doing.
And with the new rules, if you signaled a first down in another player's, a defender's face, then that would be taunting.
Yeah, they got a few flags.
James Robinson run out of bounds by Luke Gifford.
I think it's interesting, too. You look at Troy Aikman, #1 pick in the draft in '89. Jimmy Johnson was a college coach. They get united that first year. And it's very similar now. Here comes the #1 pick in the draft in Trevor Lawrence, and here comes a college coach, very successful, obviously, in Urban Meyer. But these two, Michael, are going to be joined at the hip much the same way that Jimmy and Troy were.
Yeah, they are, baby. I spoke with this team a couple weeks ago, and I shared those same things. I told them I had a front row seat in 1988 when this show started. The same exact show started in Dallas, you know. And to that, and something I want to say to this, and to that, because I heard this week coming out of Jacksonville that some players were getting mad at Urban Meyer for being upset at losing preseason games. I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, first of all, I told them when I was there that this was going to happen. And then I thought to myself, what man that got up in the morning and put toothbrush to tooth and saw that man in the mirror and thought it would be a good idea to say, my coach hates losing too much. After I was 1-15 last year, how could you bring that out of your mouth gate? Blows my mind. Say he's running me too much. Say I don't like the way he talks. Say anything except him hating losing. You cannot say that when you lost so many games.
Here's Nashawn Wright. He got beat for the touchdown earlier on the little out and up. Makes a nice break on the slant play here.
And so
by Wright.
And so what would Jimmy do when you read that quote from a player?
Listen, I'm telling you, that's part of the weeding out process right here, right there. You know, the inequity from the Jacksonville players. Really, the guy's been probably given 75% but getting 100% of their paychecks. And he's going to fix that just like Jimmy fixed it back in the day.
Blake Blake Jarwin, undrafted out of Oklahoma State 4 years ago. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, he's not playing today, but he's a big story coming out of last season. Tore his ACL in the first game of the season last year. Michael Irvin, you know what that's like early in your career, coming back from an ACL and then coming back and having a big year the next year.
Yeah, and I know he will. He's a hard-working guy. I worked out with Blake before he tore up his knee, so I hope everything works out great for him.
From the 5-yard line, once again, bad field position to start this drive for the Cowboys. Brendan Knox gets just a yard to the 6.
And Blake Jarwin's a guy everybody talked about, obviously, last year, losing both offensive tackles, losing Dak Prescott in week 5. And Blake Jarwin's a guy, Michael, that kind of got overlooked. They lost him in game 1, but nobody talks about the fact that, hey, that'll be another weapon coming back this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, but Blake also has to work hard to make sure they get the tight ends on the field with all these great receivers.
That's a good point.
The 7-yard line. And nothing there as Sidney Jones comes up and makes the stop for Jacksonville. This game brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
And Dalton Schultz did a good job last year also, man.
Oh, no question.
That replacement now, you know, he stepped in and solidified his position.
No question. Popped up, caught 63 balls. I think played a lot better than I think
a lot
anybody.
of people expect.
Yeah, even coaches as well. But he did. Dalton Schultz played fantastic. Okay, this is a big down here for Cooper Rush. You got to get a first down. You got to get a new set of downs and get the ball off the goal line.
But the handoff.
Good run.
Was a nice run by Brendan Knox out to the 18-yard line, a pickup of 10.
That's funny because last week against Houston, it was 3rd and 7. They ran the draw. They made nothing. And I thought, okay, that was kind of a give-up play. This time, it's 3rd and 7. They run the draw, Michael, and they get the first down.
And they get a first down on a great run. Now, and that's what you have to do right there in the draw. You see what he did? Got 4 or 5 yards, and he made a man miss and picked up the first down.
And Doug Nussmeier, the play caller, the quarterback's coach. This game, as we told you at the outset, Nussmeier calling plays. Kellen Moore, he's getting ready for Tampa Bay. Knox to the 19.
Are they resting him like they're resting the rest of the starters? Resting Kellen's mind. That's a new one. I love it.
And Dan Quinn on the other side as well.
All right, now, Michael, you talk about winning in the preseason. Did you like playing in the preseason when you became an established Pro Bowler?
Well, I wanted to get some play in the preseason. I did not want to miss the whole preseason, but absolutely. I like going when Troy go. I didn't want anybody to find out that anybody else can catch his passes and get rid of me.
Rush gets rid of the ball.
Very smartly there, I might add.
But as I spoke up earlier, I enjoyed watching these young guys fight. Really, you were fighting to make the team, but you're also fighting to be one of the guys. You want those starting guys to say, "Man, you ready to start playing with us?" That means everything. And when you get backup guys with that mentality, then you know you got the right team.
Another 3rd down for Cooper Rush. And Nick Eubanks on the receiving end stops short of the first down.
Now, this was good protection for Cooper Rush. He just couldn't find a downfield man, but watch Knox, number 36. He comes up, he helps out. It's a 5-man rush and got a great pocket to throw from there. This at 3rd and 8 makes it a little tough. You know, they let you throw it underneath and come up and tackle you. That's exactly what happened.
By the way, that was 44 Miles Jack who was coming on the blitz there. And so here we are late in the first quarter, and perhaps their top defensive player for Jacksonville still on the field. Cooper makes a man miss, then gets buried at the 28-yard line. There is a flag down. These guys on punt coverage, very important day for those guys on the bubble. There's Nick Ralston for 46, the fullback out of Arizona State, Louisiana Lafayette, and Argyle High School.
A member of the kicking team went out of bounds illegally on his own. Jacksonville is elected to enforce that 5-yard penalty from the succeeding spot. First down.
So Jacksonville on offense as John Fossil tries to find out who the guilty party is. Casino and Resort, the official casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas goes on defense, and for the Cowboys on defense, a lot of eyes on number 48, the rookie out of LSU and North Dakota State, Jabril Cox.
Yeah, 48 starts in college, and he looks like a guy. 4 years at North Dakota State, then went to LSU as a grad transfer, and he has really been good in the preseason. He's the Cowboys' leading tackler in the preseason, and he's going to be a big part of their nickel package and get out there, cover some of those tight ends on third down.
Trevor Lawrence still in there at quarterback for Jacksonville. That's the veteran Carlos Hyde on the carry.
Carlos Hyde, who played for Urban Meyer at Ohio State. And Carlos Hyde has been around, Michael, but every place he's been productive.
He's been very productive. He's a very good running back, but also on those linebackers. It's interesting to watch as you hear in the preseason. The Cowboys, you talk about the struggles at linebacker last year. Now it seems like that's a group of strength for the team, with a young guy like Cox showing up and playing well.
2nd and 5 from the 38. And Lawrence under pressure gets it to James O'Shaughnessy, is tied in with Luke Gifford, one of those linebackers defending. A flag down in the backfield.
Foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 97. That 15-yard penalty will be from the end of the catch, automatic, first down.
Yeah, this one came helmet right under the chin. Rondell Carter is the offending player there, but you can see Trevor Lawrence said, man, that didn't happen at Clemson. Boom.
I got to fight for some defensive guys on that one. You know,
they're just going to, you know, though, Michael, they're going to call it.
But also, this is what they were talking about, even playing Trevor Lawrence in this game. Some of these young guys are trying to make a football team, you know, and they're coming and you're putting him in a position, but he needs this kind of experience. I think it's great to see him in this game.
So that moves it all the way inside the 40 to the Dallas 38-yard line. Chris Manhertz, another tight end on the receiving end of that Lawrence pass. Let's go down to the sideline and Kyle Yeomans. Kyle?
Yeah, thank you very much, Bill. Quick update on second-round rookie Kelvin Joseph. He is not out on the field at the moment. Went to the locker room around the 4:30 mark here in this first quarter. It was thought to be a hip initially. Instead, it is a left groin. He is questionable to return.
And we saw him on the last possession make a tackle. Nice tackle in the open field. Kelvin Joseph, the rookie second-round draft pick out of Kentucky. Final seconds of the first quarter, and the clock winds out in the quarter at the 23-yard line. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville offense continues the drive in just a moment. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars leading Mike McCarthy's Cowboys 7-0 as we start the second quarter. We're giving you some looks around the structure. AT&T Stadium, the award-winning artistry around the stadium, the Southwest Monumental Staircase, a colorful sight designed by Franz Ackermann. Art tours can be scheduled by calling 817-892-TOURS. 23-yard line, Dallas into the field. Lawrence goes into his second quarter of work, and that is Laviska Shenault, their second-round pick last year out of DeSoto High School and the University of Colorado, and that guy can bring it as he showed it right there.
No, he's almost like a running back, Michael. Goes about 225, 6'1". He is powerful.
Man, I mean, hey, babe, watching him come out, oh, man, you saw film on this guy. Yeah. He was running people over like a running back. You talked about it, man. He could run. He's strong. They're looking for him to make some great plays in the future here in Jacksonville.
One thing Trevor Lawrence does have that a lot of first-round picks overall don't have is he's got good skill players around him. Many times it's not the case.
Bouncing outside, there's Carlos Hyde into the end zone. There is a flag down.
Just get the feeling this one's coming back, don't you?
Holding. Offense, number 14. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
There's Pharaoh Cooper, the wide receiver.
Israel Mukuamu is pleading his case, and they say, we saw you. We saw you. Those wide receivers can't block.
Yeah.
They can hold. Not only that, he tackled him at the end of it. First he held him.
It was a shoestring hold.
Yes.
That's a hard position to be in right there. You're thinking he's coming one way and he bounces and goes the other.
The official said, look, I'll let you get away with that first grab, but you tackled him at the end. I got to throw it now.
So back at the 13. And the slant down inside the 5. There's Chenault.
I tell you what, he is dropping back and getting rid of that ball. Short passing game.
Everything about Trevor Lawrence. #1 high school player coming out, wins a national championship as a true freshman and beats Alabama. #1 college player coming out. It's going to be fun to watch for these Jacksonville fans and the rest of the NFL, quite honestly. If you're a fan of the NFL, you got to love a young quarterback coming up.
Guy who was the National Player of the Year coming out of high school in the Atlanta area. One corner of the end zone, and it is the Trevor Lawrence and Laviska Shenault drive there for Jacksonville.
Well, you say what you will. We are seeing what they talked about.
Here, and Chenault's up here, and it's just, he knows, Trevor Lawrence knows, hey, I got man coverage. All I have to do is get this ball up into the corner. That's where it goes. Easy pitch and catch.
That's a perfect throw.
Look at that.
Chenault working on Deontay Burton there for the touchdown. Second touchdown throw of this first half for Trevor Lawrence. And Josh Lambo is on for the extra point, as Jacksonville had not scored with their first team offense the first 2 games of the preseason, but they found the end zone twice against Cowboy backups today. Terrence Steele getting a great opportunity this preseason for the Cowboys, babe.
Yeah, just playing up a little bit too high as we see these plays here from Terrence Steele, and just got to sink those hips a little. I mean, I'm right there, getting driven back, and the legs are the strongest part of your body. When you see guys do squats in the weight room, Michael, that's why.
But this is just strictly leverage right here, babe. You talked about it. It's not about him. Yeah, I know everybody talked about him being in the weight room, but that's just leverage, man. You have to get lower. You have to get a wider base and make a play.
And Reggie Davis on the kickoff return gets it out to the 20-yard line. And we'll be right back after this from Lucas Oil.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Lucas Oil, the official oil of the Dallas Cowboys.
So Cooper Rush got the first quarter for the Cowboys at quarterback, and Garrett Gilbert has the second quarter, it appears, as Gilbert is now in the game. 4th Cowboys possession, could not do anything offensively with bad field position on their last couple of possessions with Cooper Rush at quarterback. And they give pickup of about 5 yards, muscling his way forward, Brendan Knox.
Garrett Gilbert has been in this spot before, hoping to cling to a roster spot. And, you know, it's interesting, too, Michael. Last week, he only had 2 series. The 1 third down, they have a 3rd and 7. Again, they ran the draw, so they get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. So off the field they go. And he did have the fumble, which hurt him, held on to the ball too long. But there wasn't a whole lot of playing time last week. So he's hoping to make his case now.
And on the end around, taking a big hit at the 32-yard line, Reggie Davis.
And the advantage he has now, Michael, is Jacksonville has taken out some of their starters defensively, so it's a little more of a fair fight.
Right, because early on, you talked about that trap coverage up top by that corner. In a preseason game, you know, you don't usually see that kind of stuff, but when you're playing starters, they'll trick you like that.
4 of 8 for 16 yards. Cowboys went to 3rd down on all 5 of their possession, or their 3 possessions, 3rd down each time that Cooper Rush was in the game. Not successful. Gilbert dumps it out, goes incomplete to Knox.
might be a good thing, Michael.
That was best incomplete, right?
As Michael used to say, that was a business decision right there.
Yeah, that is. Man, you can't help but watch still also as you're watching it, and still it's just I know the coaches have said it. I know they've gotten on him about that. Probably just he needs to just get better leverage.
So Anger on to punt after another 3 and out for the Cowboys offense, and it is returnable. That's the 25 to the 27-yard line, and that's where Jacksonville will take over on offense when we come back to AT&T Stadium. This preseason, Michael Irvin in the Jacksonville training camp.
Michael, do you want to explain yourself?
Yeah, listen, man, you know, as pass catchers now, we all stick together. Even though right now my team fight their team, but, you know, in offseason we can still stick together and help each other out.
I love that. How do you know he's not just infiltrating them? There's a big difference.
There you go. That's right. Well, it's not working so far in this game.
That's how you phrase it.
C.J. Beathard now in at quarterback as some of the backups start getting into the game now for Jacksonville as Trevor Lawrence's day is done. The Texas Lottery proudly supports Texas education and veterans. Play the Texas Lottery today.
C.J. Beathard was competing with Gardner Minshew for the backup job as of yesterday.
What happened to Gardner Minshew, babe?
He got traded to Philadelphia. So C.J. Beathard is your guy.
He's Jacksonville's guy. He's Urban Meyer's guy. Darrell Bevel's guy is the backup.
Isn't that a nice way to do it, though, Michael?
Lawrence.
You just wake up and find out you moved up a spot on the depth chart. And you got a job.
And it's an interesting move by Philadelphia, too.
Right. And that's what do you think I was about to talk about.
Yeah, start. Go. We have time.
When you talk about Gardner Minshew, that guy has some of that Fitz magic stuff on him, too. You know what I mean? If he gets to the right team and gets in the right situation, there's no telling where it can take off to. So I worry about anybody going to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Minshew.
That has anything.
Oh, excuse me, Michael, but I mean, this is a guy with 37 touchdowns and 11 interceptions in his career on a really bad football team. There's a reason why they picked #1 this year. That's hard to do.
And it wasn't until just Tuesday of this week before Urban Meyer officially named Trevor Lawrence as the starting quarterback, as that pass is complete inbounds. And Minshew was there taking first team reps early in camp as well. But in Philadelphia, you got Jalen Hurts as the starter, and they signed Joe Flacco in the offseason. And by all accounts, Flacco's had a decent preseason there. And now they've got Gardner Minshew they add to the list.
Yeah, that's a hell of a difference, though, to go from Jalen Hurts to Joe Flacco.
A little different style.
Yes.
Punt time for Jacksonville. Logan Cook with the punt. Fair catch called for and taken. As the Cowboys will try again on offense when we come back at AT&T Stadium. Cooper Rush started this game for the Cowboys at quarterback. It did not go well for the Cowboys offense in the first half of this game.
No, it did not. 4 of 8, 16 yards for Cooper Rush. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. He's got 2s and 3s in front of him, second team and third team guys, and he's going against basically the starting defense for Jacksonville. So, Bill, if you're a high school coach, okay, and you're coaching the junior varsity, and you got to go play the other team's varsity, how are you going to fare?
It's not going to go well.
No, it's not. But hey, it's the old thing. You may not be responsible, but you will be held accountable as a head coach. So they're going to blame you.
All right. It's Garrett Gilbert with the completion to Simi Fehoko. Let's go down to the sideline and Kyle Yeomans.
Yeah, thank you very much. Joined now by Micah Parsons, rookie and first-round pick. And Micah, we saw it in Hard Knocks. You're one of those guys that wants to be out on the field. How hard is it having to stand by and watch for a game?
It's pretty hard right now. You know what I mean? I even went to coach after the first quarter. I was like, hey, you need me yet? And he just looked at me. So, it's been hard, but I know it's, preserving us for next week.
How excited are you for next week to make your regular season debut and get back out there and play legitimate snaps on the defense?
I'm super excited. I can't wait to get out there, really show what I can do, and it's going to be the first start of the journey. We're starting off with the champs.
What has been the biggest adjustment for you going throughout training camp and the preseason to get you ready for Tampa Bay Week 1?
I'd say the biggest adjustment is just learning everything, learning what the D-line's doing, learning what the DB's doing, making all the calls and checks, and really getting prepared and going against the elite competition every day in practice. So that's biggest adjustment, but I think I've been doing pretty well.
Oh, you absolutely have. And you talked about some of the competition, but some of those, I guess, co-workers, you could say, on the defensive side. What can that expectation be like for the linebacker room as a whole with a lot of new talent in there?
It's extremely competitive. I always say you can't afford to have a bad day, because if you have a bad day, another person can have a good day, and that could be the day that, it could be adjustments, you know what I mean? So every day you got to bring your best. Every day you got to put your head down, learn the knowledge, not make too many mental errors or mistakes, or, it could be your job. So every day we just get after it, and, it's all love in the room, but, we'll get on you when you mess up.
Absolutely. So that's a healthy relationship back and forth. Thanks so much for taking some time. Micah Parsons, first rounder and linebacker, joining us. Back to you, Bill.
All right, thanks, Kyle. You can just tell Micah Parsons loves to play football.
Yes. And I'm telling you, Bill, that's what I love about this kid, too. That's the first thing I said to Stephen Jones. We need guys like this that want to be on the field, that goes and say, Coach, let me play in the preseason game. You know what I mean? That stuff rubs off. And defense, oh, my God, you get a few guys like that on defense. We measure skill all the time. But when you see that, that's called will. If your will can tap your skill, oh, you got a special player, and I believe he will be a special player.
We've been able to see glimpses of it here throughout the preseason, and in about 10 days we see it in the regular season. And flag at the snap here.
That helps. It takes a 3rd and 8 to a 3rd and 3. 3rd and 8's a little tough. 3rd and 3, makeable.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Weight loss surgery can change your health and change your life. Go to mybariatricsolutions.com.
We're talking about Micah Parsons. He did not have an interception in his career at Penn State. Now, he opted out last year. But what if your first interception, Michael, in 4 or 5 years comes against Tom Brady on Thursday Night Football, September? Wouldn't that be a good one? You'll remember that. You'll keep that ball.
God.
Remember we talked about keeping balls?
Against Tom Brady, the champs. The champs.
And Malik Turner, the intended receiver here, on the 3rd down attempt by Garrett Gilbert.
Where do you like this ball, Michael, as a receiver?
And a lot of times it depends on how you see that DB right there playing. And you see the DB got a chance to come over the top. That means one or two things. You went in too early, or the ball came out too late from the quarterback, because I want that ball as soon as I break.
All right, here we go. 4th and 3 from the 39-yard line. Gilbert working the right side, lofts it downfield. And a roar from the AT&T Stadium crowd for the first time this afternoon.
That's how you come back and say, I got it.
Boy, I'm looking at it from up here, and I'm saying, throw it, throw it, throw it. Garrett Gilbert's trying to get him up on the line so it won't be challenged here, because they were right on the edge there.
First down at the 45. There is a flag now after this on this play.
Yeah, I don't know that they ever got set. Going to get an illegal formation because, again, Garrett Gilbert's trying to get him up to the ball to just get it snapped so that Jacksonville doesn't have a chance to review it and say, hey, in or out. Yeah, and I always tell you, Michael, it's easy to play quarterback from 200 feet in the air, but I was just sitting there with, as Garrett Gilbert was on the road, he was open. I'm like, throw it. But your eyes may be in a different spot, different receiver. Again, you see a lot from this vantage point,
Yeah,
don't you?
You do see a lot, and you're not worried about getting your head taken off up
that's
here.
The other part.
That's the other part of it.
I think you said it right. It's an advantage point up here.
Yes, well, you are an advantage for, up here, that's for sure.
The offense went into a hurry-up substitution. As a result, we should have held them up and allowed the defense to match up. There is no penalty on the play. We are going to do the play over.
So the penalty is on the officiating crew.
Yeah, right.
So let's take a look. Does he got it, Michael? Does he have his feet down and in? And well,
he got it.
Rear end gets down.
Yeah,
Everything gets down.
You got a feet in the cheek.
Yeah.
You got a foot in the cheek. I wanted to rhyme, but you know what I mean.
At the end of this thing, though, good throw by Garrett Gilbert. He had to loft it over, but he couldn't put too much air on it because Malik Turner was running out of sideline there. So good conversion.
And now Nick Eubanks, a first down. Take a look at the Cowboys sideline and Dak Prescott on the 4th down completion to Malik Turner.
Yeah, that's leadership too, though.
Yeah.
That's great leadership right there. And so when people say, "Oh, these games don't matter," you see guys like this. That's great leadership.
One thing I love, and it happens every year, all the veteran guys, Michael, they're done. They're not playing. They're just waiting on next week. They are so happy for the success of the young guys.
Jaquan Hardy inside the 20. Move those sticks again.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Jaquan Hardy. I would say it's not my job to cut the football team, but I just love this kid. Great kid, energetic, great personality. Guy's at 5'8". He's a little man in a big man's game, and I always say that's hard to do. So he's just lost. He's like a little Darren Sproles back there, and he just gets lost behind the lineman.
5'8", out of Tiffin University, Jaquan Hardy.
By the way, I asked him, was he an Ohio State fan growing up and a fan of Zeke? Because that would have been his wheelhouse of watching Zeke. And he said, no, I wasn't. I said, Michigan guy? You couldn't be a Michigan guy in Ohio. But he went to Ohio State's football camp, Michael, and they kind of didn't really give him the time of day. So I'll bet you at some point he's going to turn to Urban Meyer today and say, hey, should have signed me up.
Yeah, he used it as fuel.
Yeah, he did.
Well, they don't recruit a lot of 5'8" players at Ohio State.
No, probably said, let's see. I think I'll stick with this Zeke Elliott guy.
Yeah.
And by the way, Urban Meyer and Zeke Elliott, what happy memories they have right here in AT&T Stadium. The 2014 National Championship game won by Urban Meyer's Ohio State Buckeyes over Oregon, and it was Zeke Elliott who ran for 238 yards and 4 touchdowns in that game to win the national championship.
And I remember seeing that game saying, wow, man, if we can get that dude.
Well, I remember the Alabama game where, nobody runs on Alabama except for Zeke Elliott. And I was like you, Michael. I'm just looking at, you hear about guys, you see numbers posted. And you say, I'm going to look at this guy. And I think he went for about an 85-yard touchdown against Bama, ran for about 220 in that game. And I said, okay, that tells me a little something.
Yeah, he's different.
That national championship year was his sophomore year at Ohio State. From the 20-yard line, Jaquan Hardy gets a couple to the 18. And speaking of Zeke, that's one thing, Michael, that's been real encouraging this preseason. Zeke says he is down to the same playing weight he was, 218, as a freshman at Ohio State, and you could see it on the practice field.
And that's a good thing when guys start feeling like, okay, I need to go back to the beginning. You know what I mean? Because that means you're going. He put in some work this offseason. So hopefully we'll get the fruit of that hard labor. Oh, beautiful play.
Aaron Parker, touchdown Cowboys.
That's the kind of play that'll help you make a football team right there.
That was a heck of a throw right there to Aaron Parker.
That was a great throw right there to Parker. And a great route. Great timing. We talked about earlier on that slant route being late, but the timing here was absolutely perfect. Watch this when he comes out there. Oh my God, that was a great job.
That's a veteran cornerback, Sidney Jones, number 21. Aaron Parker in his second year out of Rhode Island. He was a college free agent last year. Spent 2020 on the Cowboys practice squad.
Boy, the timing of that worked out perfectly, man. The cornerback did not have a chance to get up under that. Once he turned and he read, that ball was right there.
So Garrett Gilbert engineers a long touchdown drive, an 80-yard drive for Garrett Gilbert.
And he certainly has to feel good about that right there. That's Kellen Moore not calling plays to his right, but he is telling him just how good he was in that situation.
But got that man coverage right there. You know, if they had zone, he want to high-low that corner over there. He got that man coverage. And when you get that man coverage, the right route's on, you take the high and get the touchdown.
That Ford scoring drive. Ford, built for Texas, built for you. 80 yards in 10 plays. Download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV to get the latest news and analysis on your home TV. Get the latest player interviews, video podcasts, documentaries, and so much more on the Cowboys Now app. Greg Zuerlein kicked the extra point. This is the first time we're seeing the veteran place kicker for the Cowboys this preseason. Sends that one through the end zone, so Jacksonville will take over at the 25-yard line. Check out Garrett Gilbert.
Trying to make his way on this team here. And we talked about that one. Just a little, I don't think I'm going to really want to catch that. Here's a good throw here to Aaron Parker for the touchdown. Like you mentioned, Michael, that ball delivered on time to the sideline. Perfect spot. It's almost when that corner, you tell me, that corner has man coverage and he's playing a little inside. You just get up, so you start drilling a little bit.
Yeah, but as a wide receiver, now I have to make sure I don't make that break so early.
Soon, yep.
Because really, he's already excited. Let me run right now and catch the ball, but the quarterback's not ready to throw the ball. So that's what makes it a great job. Both of them had patience.
C.J. Beathard deep downfield. Beathard has been impressive this preseason, and he connects there with a speedster who was signed by Jacksonville yesterday, basically. Devin Smith.
We had to look up to see what number they were going to give him
look
today,
at that. They need to look at that again.
Yeah, and the challenge flag has come out from Mike McCarthy. There you see it at the top of the screen.
Oh, I was about to say, man, golly, is he that much better than me? That was an incredible catch.
And that's
was fantastic.
That's what Devin Smith brings. Of course, he was with the Cowboys, and that long speed that Devin Smith has. Now, did he make the catch?
Dallas is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
He did not make the catch.
I think they should give him like half of it just because it was such a laid out for the ball.
Right.
I think you got to say, okay, he did not catch it, but
make the team.
And then just appeal to the home crowd. It's a preseason game. You can appreciate the effort he had. We're going to let him have like 40 yards of it. That ball appears to be out, does it not?
Yeah, it's definitely out. But that kind of effort does help because it's hard when you see a guy making that kind of effort in this kind of game. You know what I mean? Yeah. That carries.
And the Cowboys corner there, Nashawn Wright, he's got him all the way, and then he just kind of clicks heels there and trips up at the end of this.
You see that ball?
And gets a little off balance.
Right there, that ball's out.
Yeah.
There's the angle right there.
This one shouldn't take long. Again, John Hussey is our referee, and he goes under the hood and gets some help from New York, and they look at it. But I don't think this one will take too long for our referee, John Hussey, to come out and tell us, bringing it back. Now, C.J. Beathard, who obviously threw that football right there, and there's John Hussey. Mary Star of the High School, Bill, in San Pedro.
You're so big on those high schools.
See, you know how you know
your high school.
You know your Texas high schools. I know my California high schools.
So that's a California high school.
That's a California, San Pedro.
After review, the ruling stands. Dallas is charged a timeout. One unsuccessful challenge.
Wow. Now, there are times, Michael, where I say, I could go either way. I could see that. I didn't see this.
I didn't see this going either way. I thought that ball clearly hit the ground.
Well, I don't know if they're telling us that he's got his left elbow underneath that and left forearm. Here's the coverage here. So Nashawn Wright, he just turns, but it's just straight speed. But he's there, and then he just
it's the throw
trips a little bit.
It's the throw bringing him back up underneath that got him the opportunity to make the play.
That's a 45-yard completion. C.J. Beathard to Devin Smith, and now going deep on the right side. And right at the goal line, he is in.
That was a catch.
And that is Jeff Cotton. 2 plays, 45 yards and then 30 yards for C.J. Beathard. Now we see why they traded Gardner Minshew.
There we go. You know, Deontay Burton is the corner here, Michael. He's up at the top of our screen there. And I don't think he ever sees this ball. He turns to look for it.
Right.
You can see he never locates the football.
And Bill, you're joking, but those were great opportunities that he gave each one of those receivers to make a play. You know what I mean? Neither one of those guys were wide open, but where he put the ball gave each one of them an opportunity to make the play.
Deontay Burton almost made that play with his helmet. See, he does not see this football.
He does not see it.
And if it hits him, he's in good shape. But and you're exactly right, though.
Right.
C.J. Beathard, perfect spot for that football.
Put that one on the outside. The one before he put way on the inside to bring him inside. It was, and that's the quarterback's job. I tell young receivers, stop asking the quarterback to hit you between the eights. His job is to throw the ball somewhere in the area code, and you have to say hello on the other end of the phone call.
Okay, now did he catch that one?
Here we go again. At least now you know what high school John Hussey went to, Bill. Okay, let's take another look. We were wrong on the, I think we were unanimous that it was not a catch on the long ball previous. So let's see what we got here.
Oh, he caught it.
Now,
yeah.
Let's see, it's coming down, it's sliding, it's sliding.
We have possession.
you're dealing with the out of bounds as well. Does he have complete possession before he went out of bounds?
Well, I'm glad this is not my everyday job.
No kidding. No kidding.
To decide that right there.
I mean, it's coming around. Does he have it before he hits?
Oh.
Does he have possession before any part of his body hits that white stripe? That's the question. And I'll say this. I mean, people love to get on officials.
So
you tell me, you're this guy right here.
Okay? No way. Yeah, right.
You get to see it one time. You're trying to see the ball. Does he have possession? Does the bottom of his body hit the white? And we're looking at it 12 times, high definition, slow motion, and we still don't quite know.
Yeah, it reminds me of watching film on Monday when Coach Axe, God bless his soul, used to be saying, Michael, well, why'd you cut here? Michael, why'd you? I said, Coach, how many times you watch? He said, I watched it all night. I said, I had less than a second to make the decision. Right?
That's exactly
and that's what that ref had. Less than a second to make the decision. We're watching it all day. They made it at less than a second.
Well, but it can get back to, is it indisputable evidence to overturn the call on the field? And the call on the field is a touchdown.
I think they're bringing it back.
It looks
After
like
review, the receiver did not complete the process of the catch. By the time he completed that process, he was out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass. Will the game clock operator please set the game clock to 4:19, please? 4:19. Thank you.
I think it's the right call.
Yeah, that's a close one.
But yeah, that's, again, appreciate these officials and what they go through and the speed of the game. Hey, that's why when they had the replacement officials, they'd all officiated before, but the speed of the game got them. That's why they said, hey, you regular guys, we need you back.
So second down from the 30. Dare Ogunbowale.
That's a good job, Bill.
Yeah, that was nice, Bill.
You know, his sister played.
That's why we have Bill. That's why it's a three-man booth.
His sister, Arike Ogunbowale, plays basketball right down the street for the WNBA Dallas Wings. In fact, she was the MVP of the WNBA All-Star game last month.
You know, they talked him, could he beat his sister one-on-one? And he said, used to be able to, but no, she has too much game for me.
The rest of the afternoon, we'll call him Dare. Oh.
Again, it's Joe Witt calling the defensive signals for the Cowboys, not Dan Quinn. He's under COVID protocol, and he decided, Michael, let's come after him a little bit here.
Well, you saw that pressure. When pressure comes up the middle, Bill, like that, and babe, you're going to have problems. I don't care who you are. Ooh. Now I hope, and the Cowboys, that's what I hope they'll do a lot of this year, to create pressure. Some kind of special design plays to get pressure on the quarterback.
Josh Lambeau. The field goal attempt is good. And so Jacksonville adds to its lead, 17-7.
Jacksonville went through 6 kickers last year. They went through kickers the way the Cowboys went through offensive tackles.
And it all started with a Lambeau injury. Well, we've enjoyed watching Mike McCarthy's Cowboys on HBO's Hard Knocks this month. We've still got a couple more episodes to go leading up to the season opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was great seeing the stuff, the stuff leading up, or as the team returned to the Star in Frisco. I just love that drone shot. It was unbelievable throughout the Star in Frisco. It started outside, took you on a grand tour of the Cowboys practice facility. Johnny Dixon is deep for the Cowboys here. Dixon trying to find some running room, gets out past the 20-yard line. The Cowboys back on offense. Here are the numbers for the two players competing to be Dak Prescott's backup. Gary Gilbert, 23 out of 41 this preseason with 1 touchdown now. And Cooper Rush, 25 out of 38 with 2 last week.
Big thing there is the 0 and the 0, Michael, in the second part. Now, Cooper has had a couple that he got away with. That's a bad thing. Ben DiNucci had 3 bad balls last week, and each one of them got intercepted. Sometimes you get away with them, sometimes you don't.
And Gilbert had the sack fumble last week to start last week's game against Houston. Sacked from behind, lost the football. Some nifty running by Brendan Knox. Let's go down to the sideline. Kyle Yeomans.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bill. Now joined by Tyron Smith. And Tyron, first off, welcome back to the healthy side of the lineup. It's great to have you back. How excited are you to get back into action?
Well, you know, I'm very excited to be out here with my guys, be back on the field with them for the season. So there's no other way to explain it, but be excited.
No doubt about that. And what does your offseason look like, and how much do you feel like you're ready to go for week 1?
I feel, you know, I'm there for it. I'm always ready for game 1, but you know, this offseason's been eye-opening. The things are small. Focus on the small things.
And of course, it's a big thing to have some of your other guys back with you as well. How nice is it to look across that offensive line and see Lyle back and healthy, and then also Zach Martin as well?
You know, it's good to have your guys out there back with you on the field and having your group out there with you. So it's a good feeling.
And last thing for you, looking ahead to the front 7 of Tampa Bay, what kind of challenge is ahead of you guys in week 1?
You know, for us, it's all about us being on the same page and coming out on the field and know what we got to get done. So
got to get it done.
Yeah.
There you go. That's Tyron Smith. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks, Kyle. Thanks to Tyron Smith as well, as Brendan Knox on the screen pass gets it out near the 40-yard line. We're going to talk some Tyron Smith and more when we come back here to AT&T Stadium. 2 minutes left here in the first half.
Ashley Home Stores.
And first half highlights and analysis. And we just heard from Tyron Smith on the sideline. And babe, it's pretty remarkable. He's going into his 11th year in the league now. And he's only 30 years old.
Yeah, well, he came out as a 20-year-old. Imagine a 20-year-old man going up against literally men. But he did okay.
Pass goes behind Simi Fehoko, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Cowboys.
You look at that draft that he came out of also, that 2011 draft, and what a great draft it was. Of the top 12 picks, all of them have been to at least 1 Pro Bowl. There were 3 that didn't. Those were quarterbacks. Jake Locker, Blaine Gabbert, drafted by Jacksonville, and Christian Ponder. But you got Hall of Famers, and you got Von Miller. You got Patrick Peterson. You got Julio Jones. You got Tyron, who's going to be there. You got J.J. Watt. I mean, it was a fantastic draft, but the Cowboys, they drafted well.
A franchise left tackle. Can't draft much worse than that, or better than that.
It's a great opportunity right here to tie this back into that Philip Dorsett play we talked about earlier in the season. Right here, you'll see the receiver does not leave that quarterback that time on the sideline. And this play here is not made. You know, right now you're too close to you know what I mean? You make the play, but now you're out of bounds.
Yep, everybody's, it's the old, oh, great throw, great catch. Oh, he's just out of bounds. Well, and it doesn't matter, does it?
And it comes back to, it's a great throw by the quarterback. You got to make sure you keep that room so you make that play in bounds.
Brian Anger His first year with the Cowboys, the former Houston Texan with the punt. It's fielded by Pharaoh Cooper. Fair catch. Jacksonville will have an opportunity with its 2-minute offense. Let's take a look at what the Cowboys are going to face the first half of the season. Of course, it all starts 11 days from now at Tampa Bay, and 2 road games to start the season before 3 straight home games. Philadelphia, Carolina, and the Giants back to back to back.
You know, you see that schedule there, Michael, but I only see 1 game, September 9th.
That's it. That's it. And test it in a great way in that game.
Oh, you find out real quick what kind of team you got, huh?
By the way, Tom Brady and the first team offense was in the game against the Texans last night for 2 series. He was 11 out of 14. Kind of looked like Tom Brady with 2 scoring drives.
You know, I think he's on his last legs, though. I think he's only got maybe 13 or 14 years left, Michael. He may be our first 50-year-old quarterback.
Let me just say this, man, because I saw him at the Hall of Fame, and when he saw me backstage, the first thing he said when he grabbed my hand, he said, "I'm going to kill your boy." I was like, okay, man, what's up? He's a competitor.
It is unbelievable what he is doing and where he is kind of setting the bar for how long you can play.
But you still see that drive, as I talked about earlier. You know, in this game, since we have hand-to-hand, man-to-man combat on every play, I have to beat another man to win. It's not just skill; it's also will, and his will is just incredible. He still wants to win and beat you badly. That's the first thing came out of his mouth.
What was your response?
I can't tell you.
Going deep down the sideline.
Oh.
You know, what a terrific catch made right in front of the Jacksonville bench.
Deontay Burton again just didn't get turned for the ball.
Find that ball.
It's got good coverage.
You're there.
Yep. He never sees the football at the end. Yep.
That's Jeff Cotton. Or rather, yeah, Jeff Cotton, number 88.
The ball hit the turf.
Down.
Nothing else. It stops the clock for C.J. Beathard and his Jacksonville offense here.
Will the game clock operator please 1:08 on the clock, please? 1:08.
No, it is interesting with Jacksonville with their backup quarterback situation. C.J. Beathard is a guy who has started games in this league. In fact, against the Cowboys back when he was with San Francisco.
Yep. His first NFL start came against Dallas. He lost 40-10, but yes.
Oh, and there's your pick.
And somebody got C.J. Beathard's arm back there and forced this. So
right,
the DB gets the credit. When on the stat sheet it'll say interception by, but it was the pressure that got to him.
And the pressure did get to him, and that ball was thrown behind him after he made a break in man-to-man coverage. We talked about timing all day here today between that quarterback and that pass catcher, and when you throw that ball behind like that, that is
again,
exactly
what happens. Now, his arm gets hit, so he cannot follow through.
Exactly.
Let's see who got it there. Right there.
Right there.
Yep.
And that ball goes behind
Rondell Carter.
And it was Israel Mukuamu. Israel Mukuamu, the rookie out of South Carolina, who's made the conversion from cornerback to safety in his rookie year in the NFL.
Well, 1 minute left. Cowboys have 2 timeouts. Here we go.
Aaron Parker, who had the touchdown earlier, up near the first down marker. They'll move the chains.
Great work here for Garrett Gilbert and his 2-minute offense. Again, you rep it every day in practice, camp. Here you go. Get a chance to run it.
Looking for Nick Eubanks is tied in.
That was one of the. Nick Eubanks is running a flat. And right as Garrett Gilbert goes to throw it, Nick Eubanks turns up, and that happens.
He flips up.
Yeah, he doesn't think he's getting the ball.
But, baby, let me tell you something. I go back to that defensive play and that interception. You know, that looked like that was like a cover 2 man under, right? And you get, if you get pressure on the quarterback on a cover 2 man under, oh, you'll have a great season. You'll have a great season if you could play that way.
Underneath to Brendan Knox. As we're in the final 30 seconds of the first half. Cowboys taking their second timeout. And really, we came out of last week's game, Babe, where Cooper Rush played so well against the Texans, and he takes the first team reps behind Dak Prescott this week, starts this game, and now this is a great opportunity for Garrett Gilbert here.
Well, many times, too, for that quarterback, it's how things come up in the game. If you get the opportunity, Cedric Wilson ran a great corner route. They played man last week. It's like easy pitch and catch, and sometimes it doesn't come up for you. But, Michael, today it was a reverse. Things didn't come up well for Cooper Rush, but all of a sudden Garrett Gilbert's getting some time to throw and some open receivers.
And the receivers are making plays for him. That's how the game works.
You really are so dependent at that quarterback position of everybody around you.
Yeah, everything is interdependent in this league, though. At this level. Oh. Even right there, the timing on that play. When he makes that curl, when he makes that turn, that ball's already in the air. The DB doesn't have time to close and knock that ball down.
Fihoko got the first down. And now getting out of bounds, stopping the clock with just 7 seconds left. There's Reggie Davis.
So that Simi Fihoko catch at the end of this thing, he runs the ball in because he's inbounds, clock is running.
Right.
And the center, Farniak, comes out to grab it from him. Watch this. So he tosses it. That Farniak running with the ball to get it set up. He's going to be gassed. Then he's got to snap and go block a big guy. I don't know that I've seen that, but I liked it.
Clearly they've practiced it.
Yeah, oh, man.
And now Jacksonville wants a timeout with 7 seconds left.
You know who the happiest man in the world that Jacksonville called a timeout is?
Timeout.
That would be Matt Farniak right there. Number 68.
And the offensive line coach Joe Philbin talking with Farniak there. They look at the draft class for the Cowboys. And he joined us late. Kelvin Joseph left the game early with what was described as a groin injury. We've seen Odigizua throughout this preseason. Haven't seen Golston. He's been injured throughout the preseason. Seen a lot of Nashawn Wright at cornerback and Jabril Cox.
Bill, now you did baseball for the
Yes.
Texas Rangers. 3 years?
For 5 years.
5 years. Okay, so you know there's Randy Johnson's on the mound, and suddenly guys get the flu or they can't go that day against Randy Johnson or whoever that, So did Kelvin Joseph say, oh, Tom Brady? Oh, maybe not. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. That's not what happened. But I know it happens in baseball.
It definitely does.
I don't feel good today. Who's pitching? Yeah, Randy Johnson. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to.
Defense, too many men on the field, in formation. That 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
You know what the worst thing about that is, guys?
They're coming out of a timeout.
Yeah, you're coming out of a timeout.
Right.
I understand, especially preseason. Hey, everybody's everywhere, but you're coming out of a timeout, and so wait a minute.
And it runs guys like Urban Meyer, Jimmy. It runs those coaches crazy.
And now that play took 2 seconds.
Beauty of that too, Michael, is as announcers you're looking, you don't know what happens. I don't know if I don't know what the protection is, so I don't know who's responsible for that blitzer necessarily. But when there's 12 guys on and one guy comes running off, it's pretty clear. Well, that was a guy that wasn't supposed to be out there.
And so
field goal.
Here we go. Greg Zuerlein, the veteran. Ball will be set down at the 46-yard line, so it will be a 56-yard attempt for Zuerlein. And just misses to the left. Zuerlein has been out throughout the preseason, but they decided to take a shot at it there to end this first half.
That's a good way to get back into the mix, right? 56-yarder.
He had the distance, clearly. Just misses a little bit to the left. And now Zeke headed to the locker room. You can see his speed and quickness as he heads to the locker room. And we've got an Avo and Resort, the official casino of the Dallas Cowboys. And the Miller Lite halftime stats brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. You look at the numbers, rushing-wise, Cowboys 56 yards rushing. Jacksonville 225 passing. However, Trevor Lawrence was very sharp in the first quarter and then some in the first half. Greg Zuerlein has the ball teed up. Aaron Cooper is deep for Jacksonville as we get started here in the third quarter. Zuerlein sends it about 5 yards deep. And how about Mr. Hardy with the tackle on special teams? Jaquan Hardy, you know, you look at the Cowboys running back situation with the loss of Rico Dowdle for the season, placed on injured reserve. We know Zeke's making the team. We know the backup is making the team as well. And Tony Pollard. But check out number 37, Jaquan Hardy, trying to make the team.
Now, a lot of these guys, Michael, they have not played special teams in college. He did at Tiffin.
Jake Luton in at quarterback to start the second half. And we also know that Michael enjoyed playing special teams in his time with the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I was about to say that, Debate, man. You know how hard that is to say, I didn't play any special teams, but I'm doing it here at this level right now to try to make a football team. So give those guys credit.
Especially an offensive player like that, a running back, you're not used to tackling people. At least if you're on defense, maybe they didn't use you on special teams, but you know how to tackle someone.
Right.
Pickup of 7 on first down for Jake Luton and the Jags. Third quarterback of the game for Jacksonville. And there's a first down.
Early on, Jimmy tried to put me in college. He put me back to catch some punts. And I really didn't want to be back there. I'll never forget Mel Braden coming to me and say, hey, you know how Jimmy is. If you really don't want to be back there, just fumble the ball one time.
That's great.
Right. I fumbled and I never called another punt.
Oh, that's great.
Wearing his number 47 at the U.
Yeah. Hey, you could wear it again now.
That's right.
There was a time you couldn't wear that number as a receiver, but that changes.
Divine Ozigbo, another local product out of Saxe High School and the University of Nebraska in there at running back for Jacksonville.
Why didn't you want to return punts, Michael?
Oh, my God, man. Listen, I have nothing but respect for those guys, man. But I call that a kamikaze. That's, oh, my God, it's crazy. It's crazy watching those guys run down, taking those hits.
You can get a behind-the-scenes look at AT&T Stadium with a VIP self-guided or art tour. Stadium tours available daily. For more info, purchase tours. Visit attstadium.com/tours. Zigbo trying to get outside, and there's Jabril Cox, number 48, coming up to make the stop.
Again, Cowboys leading tackler in the preseason. He has really played well. He just looks like a guy who knows how to play the game. Well coached at North Dakota State, then a year at LSU, but he just does everything right, Michael.
That great angle, man. He spotted it up, came up, and made the play.
All right, third down. Time for the pass rush to get after young Jake Luton here.
We saw 56 Bradley Anai with the pursuit on that run play. Let's see if he can get some pressure on the quarterback from the right side. There's the blitz coming, and getting rid of the football is Luton. Had to get rid of it quickly. Mukuamu, number 38, had the pick in the first half, and the pressure here.
Mukuamu's having himself a football game. Now, this is one of those, too, where you, as a blitzer, you just hope nobody picks you up. And that's exactly what happened. There was nobody accounting for Mukuamu in the pass protection there. So he has a free run at the quarterback. Eyes have to light up right there, saying, oh, none of those big guys are coming out to get me.
And Mukuamu is a big guy as a safety. Tony Dixon on the punt return, nowhere to go. Laquan Treadwell recovering punts for Jacksonville with a flag down on the play.
Now you see how he stood in there and just waited on that ball. It takes some real guts to do that. I'm telling you, man, those dudes have some real courage. Courage doesn't say fear didn't exist. he has an ability to overcome his fears in those situations, which I did not have.
more courage to return punts or return kickoffs?
Right. Return punts.
During the return.
The return to punts,
holding.
no doubt.
Receiving team number 38. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Right.
Timeout.
Right when we're bragging on. That's Bakumu, by the way.
Johnny Dixon has courage. The first time here in the second half. That means it's been DiNucci time at quarterback. Down 17-7 starting the second half, and field position not good to get things started. Backed up at their own 10-yard line. And that's Jeremy Sprinkle, the veteran tight end on the receiving end.
That's a good way to start it out. DiNucci getting himself loosened up. And here's the one thing he has to do today. Obviously, 3 of his last 4 possessions last week against Houston ended up with interceptions. And at the end of his drive, a toe has to hit the football. It can be an extra point, Michael. It can be a field goal, or it can be a punt. But he just needs to take better care of the football. And that's what they'll be watching for him to do this afternoon.
First down after a pickup of 15 yards, and then Brendan Knox picks up about 4. Gary Gilbert worked the second quarter of this game for the Cowboys. Cooper Rush got the start alongside Zach Martin on the sideline.
Garrett is talking to Martin, saying, you know, hey, it's really fun talking to you, but I really like it if you come into the game when I'm in there. I'd really enjoy that, I think. Zach is probably saying, yeah, I don't think I'd enjoy it quite as much as you would.
Nothing there for Knox this time. They've lost a yard.
I could be wrong, but Zach Martin, Michael, strikes me as one of those guys that he does want to be in the game. If they said, hey, you're playing the half, you're playing 3 quarters, he'd say, great.
Right. Zach's a player, man. I'm so happy he's on our football team. But I also like what they did with DiNucci here. The first play, they rolled him out. You know, you talked about some of the problems he had last week. Let's roll him out. Let's get him out on the end. Let him make a big play. And then they handed the ball off here a couple times, but you'll have to throw it probably now.
Yeah, big third down here for DiNucci.
3rd and 6. Osiris Mitchell, the intended receiver.
Here again, I would like this receiver pressing more on this DB also. Here, get back upfield now. Press back in against him. If he's pressing back in against him, that's not a bad throw right there by DiNucci. I will expect more out of the wide receiver to give him an opportunity to make that play.
Brandon Rusnak was defending for Jacksonville there. And it's punt time for the Cowboys. Backed up inside his 15-yard line. It's Pharaoh Cooper.
It's a good play right there. But going back to that, babe, what I was talking about, that receiver, young guys, they're trying to run away from the DB as opposed to just playing them on the inside.
Stephen Parker out of Oklahoma with the tackle on special teams.
Be someone that can come in, hit the ground, run, and help us win right away.
Our Bank of America defensive featured player of the game, Osa Odigizua, the 3rd-round pick out of UCLA. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. And the best news for Osa Odigizua, not that he's in danger of not making the squad, is the fact he didn't play in this game, which means you're assured of making the squad, Osa. Jake Luton, his 2nd series. And it's a long pickup for Jeff Cotton as he breaks a tackle and gets down the sideline for a big pickup.
Nice job by Luton here. He's trying to get a deep ball here. And what happens too, though, if you're back there and you have protection and you're holding on to that football a little bit, the defense is all going back. So there's a greater separation when you drop it off.
Right. And that's exactly what he did.
Everybody's way downfield here, and they got to come up and make a tackle now.
A pickup of 29 yards out to the 47-yard line. And they'll work the right flank this time. And it's Parker coming up to make the tackle, and down on the sideline, Kyle Yeomans.
Thank you, Bill. Wanted to give an update on Kelvin Joseph. I gave the report in the first half talking about how he left the game around the 4:30 mark in that opening frame. It was a left groin. He has now been upgraded to out and has not returned from the tunnel. Additionally, Malik Turner has gone into the tunnel for further evaluation. He was on punt coverage during that last special teams run.
All right, thanks, Kyle. That was a completion to Josh Hammond for 6 yards. Sets up 2nd and 4 for Jake Luton and the Jags. Divine Ozigbo slips the tackle and gets the first down.
There's Jabril Cox. He's getting a pretty good dose tonight this afternoon, Michael.
Gotta make that tackle.
I say tonight, I'm just not used to a preseason game being played at noon. So, matter of fact, I think it's the first home preseason game for the Cowboys in the afternoon in 30 some odd years.
Losing the ball, and it gets kicked downfield. And Ozigbo, touchdown back near the 40-yard line.
Justin Hamilton is the one that kicked it. And of course, he wasn't trying to kick it. He was just trying to beat his guy. And all of a sudden, the ball's on the ground. And you'll see number 99 there, right up the middle. And boom. Gives it a nice little soccer-style kick. Johnny on the spot there to recover that fumble.
If that defense can just get some turnovers this year, that's the quickest way to turn a game. And I'm just curious about how big of a jump can this defense make this season.
Excuse me, that's going to be a big part of it. I'll get to those takeaways after this play.
There's a flag.
A false start. I'll get to it right now after John Hussey says false start.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So you look at what they did last year, the Cowboys, the first 10 weeks, only Houston had fewer takeaways than the Dallas defense. Then weeks 11 through 17, no one had more takeaways than the Dallas defense. They had 16. So literally, it was a tale of two halves of the season. Now, can they pick up where they left off last year in terms of taking the ball away?
And in some respects, it was a tale of different quarterbacks that they were facing in the second half of the season, too, for the other teams. Jake Luton. Nice catch made by Ozigbo, and he's buried at the 40-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of just a couple of yards. John Deere, the official tractor of the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, when you're practicing, when a team is really focused on turnovers, you know, every team says turnovers, but you really know when a team is focused on turnovers. You'll see practice, you'll see fights in practice because guys are still ripping for the ball late in plays.
3rd and long, Ozigbo. And there's McQuamu, who got him by the face mask, it looked like, and the flag comes in.
Man, 3rd and 30. It's going to be an automatic first down. The yardage won't give them the first down, but again, that face mask is an automatic first down, and that's a killer right there for a drive.
And playing down and distance here. Why are you flying up to make this tackle?
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 38. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
You put yourself in position. You're not flying. You're flying up to make that play. Right at that spot right there is not going to just settle down. Let him come to you for another yard. It's still time to kick the ball. But when you do this, it's first down.
Yep, that was the only way they were getting a first down on that play.
I'll say this, he is getting himself in the stat sheet, is he not? He's been everywhere.
He's a stat stuffer.
No kidding.
Good and bad. And Luton finds man underneath. And breaking free is Nathan Cottrell for a few extra yards.
No, they had him stopped at the short of the first down here, but It's Deontay Burton here, right side of your screen. He's coming up, does a good job, going to make the tackle, and doesn't get him to the ground.
Yeah, you just got to come up, get you a base, get a base.
I will say, you know,
and
you
make
gotta,
a play.
Excuse me, Nathan. You know, Cottrell, you never give the other guy credit, right? But pretty good play on his part for Jacksonville.
Pickup of 11 and a first down. And Cottrell gets about 6 to the 20.
That's what I was like, Michael. When your running back is running great, you say, man, we have a great running back. But if it's a defense that they're running through, you say, no, we can't tackle anybody. It's like, well, you know, it's kind of the same thing here. As they say, they pay the other guys.
They pay the other team. The other guy gets paid too. You're absolutely right.
So 2nd and 5 from the 21. Luton, a 6th-round draft pick out of Oregon State last year for Jacksonville. Started his college career at Idaho. Throwing for the end zone, but not there. To Colin Johnson, the former Texas Longhorn.
Great job of Nashawn Wright here. Just you talked about it earlier. Happened with Jacksonville and the Cowboys receiver, but Nashawn Wright, he's in the slot there, and he just keeps pushing, and stays ahead of the receiver. Really nice job there.
That was a great job right there. And the way he played it, he's always looking back for the ball. That's why he doesn't get that call. Nobody makes a call now. If he's just looking at that receiver, they'll throw a flag there.
And how about that matchup? 6'4" Nashawn Wright against 6'6" Colin Johnson. 3rd down from the 21. And there's the first down, working on Deontay Burton again. And that's Cotton again with the catch.
You mentioned Jake Luton here, the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, 6th-round pick last year for the Jags, and they obviously traded Gardner Minshew yesterday, a 6th-rounder that they drafted a couple of years ago for a 6th-rounder, but maybe they like this Luton kid. I mean, he's been impressive here in the second half for Jacksonville.
And he started 3 games for Jacksonville last year, so he has more starts in his NFL career than either Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert have combined. As Cottrell gets down inside the 10.
10-yard penalty. First down.
Back up Jacksonville. Deontay Burton, number 33, was Laviska Shenault. Got the touchdown on him earlier.
And this one, he just couldn't find the ball. It doesn't locate the ball. He's got perfect coverage.
Yeah.
Cottrell breaks free and got the first down after the missed tackle. Going underneath, down to the 11-yard line, and Burton makes the tackle that time on Josh Hammond.
Now, this Dallas defense wants to keep him out of there. Again, we talked about winning, losing, how important is it? But you got a 10-point ball game right now. Time ticking down in the 3rd quarter. You want to make a stop here and keep this to a 2-possession game, and you know that's what Mike McCarthy wants. I always say, you know, hey, it doesn't mean anything, but we're going to keep score. Let's try to win it. And they do keep score.
Rolling out Luton. And reaching for the pylon, and in with the touchdown, the veteran Laquan Treadwell.
Veteran and well-traveled Laquan Treadwell.
First rounder by Minnesota.
Yeah, first rounder by Minnesota. Was in Atlanta. Dan Quinn had him last year in Atlanta. That's a touchdown, huh? Don't need to look at that one twice. I mean, we like to look at it again.
And again.
But the officials don't need to.
Treadwell was in that same draft that produced Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott for the Cowboys in 2016. 23rd overall pick of the Vikings that year. 16 starts in his career and has a touchdown tonight.
6G growth hacking.
Skycam brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the official casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Skycam looks ready for the regular season, don't you think?
right, one thing the Cowboys haven't had in the preseason here is kind of a big return. So what do you think about right now, Bill? Ben DiNucci has been dealing with some awful field position. Both today, he started first drive at the 10 and last week against Houston. Maybe to get a little right here.
Reggie Davis will have an opportunity from the goal line. And he gets just around the 20-yard line. That's where Ben DiNucci will take over. Matt Farniok got the start at center, 7th round draft pick out of Nebraska. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, and watch him. He does a great job of dropping his hips. You have to when you're playing that center position because you may have a big old nose tackle. Look at that. Replaces the hands, gets his hips down, plays with leverage, goes to the second level here, Michael. Good little run for Matt Farniok.
Right there, you see right there, you love to see that. That's that effort right there. That's the tape that coach will wind back and say, hey, look at this effort. We need everybody giving this kind of effort.
It's going to be very interesting, the decisions the Cowboys make come Tuesday, cut down day in the National Football League. Farniok with a great opportunity tonight, and he was going up against the first team Jacksonville defense for much of the first half of this game. So there's a lot of good stuff on tape from Farniok for the coaches to look at. DiNucci flips it out to Brendan Knox and got a yard to the 37. Cowboys have questions at backup center. Of course, Tyler Biadasz is the starter, and we've seen throughout the preseason Connor Williams get an opportunity just to take some snaps there. Did not go well against Arizona.
Yeah, and obviously nothing can happen until the ball gets snapped. And you know, it's his first year doing it, but he certainly struggled through training camp.
But people got to understand, though, now listen, when you're playing center, it's not just like hut and you snap the ball. You calling out deep alignments. It's some serious business.
And they probably like that about Connor Williams, and one of the reasons he got the opportunity to see what he could do there. But having not played center in his career, we saw that early in the preseason where he struggled.
Right, now you have to do all of that thinking, get the ball snapped, and then try to get position to make a block. It's a tough job. When you find a great center, you got something.
And again, the Cowboys have to be looking at things going, okay, what you always have to be planning for what if there's an injury at a certain position. And so what do the Cowboys do at backup center? It's a big question.
Good job here just getting that first down. Cowboys were 3 of 10 on third down. They pick up one here. And again, for Ben DiNucci, it just gives you another set of downs, right? A whole nother set of plays. We heard Mike McCarthy on the halftime interview with Kyle Yeomans talking about the fact that we need to take a few more deep shots. Well, just walk down or call up, tell Doug Nussmeier, who's calling the plays tonight, hey, let's go deep. So someplace in this drive, go ahead and take that deep shot.
Well, a little play fake, looking downfield, throws downfield, and that time the pick got dropped.
Wow. Very rarely does it go well when you're throwing across the middle late and you're backpedaling from the quarterback position. Just it doesn't work out most of the time.
Andrew Wingard, who's the safety who came up and had it right there for him.
No one knows this more than me, Michael, but that is hard, and you just cannot do that. Especially on the heels. Again, we talked at the start. Hey, the toe has got to hit the ball. A PAT, a field goal, a punt. That ball should have been intercepted.
Had 3 picks last week in the second half against Houston. Nick Eubanks shows some power. Got upfield near the first down.
I'll say this about Ben DiNucci, Michael. He's confident. He keeps throwing it. A lot of guys would go into a shell. He does not.
We're through 3 quarters here at AT&T Stadium. This art piece located in the Northeast Monumental Staircase, Blue Field Explosions, captures what happens on Sundays here at AT&T Stadium. Art tours can be scheduled by calling 817-892-TOURS. We start the 4th quarter here at the stadium. Cowboys facing a 3rd and 1. Let's go to DeMarcus Lawrence with Kyle.
Yeah, thank you very much. D-Law waiting for the start of this 4th quarter. And, well, now you get a chance to see the defense try and do some more. What are the expectations for your season, though, as you come back and you're getting ready for 17 games?
Yeah, man. You know, just enthused to just come back and be healthy enough to go out there with the team. First off, second off,
I mean, the thing for me is to go out there and make plays, cause havoc in the backfield, get after all the quarterbacks that we playing this year, and have fun with my guys. And being able to have fun and complete the mission also leads us to a chance to win the Super Bowl.
So is the mission? The mission is Super Bowl, right? Is that the expectation, not necessarily the goal?
No, that's the goal. You know, we gotta keep things short. You know, take it one game at a time, and let all the chips hang where they lay.
Now, a lot of talent added to that defensive line group. I want to ask, how does this group compare to the ones that you've had throughout your Cowboys career?
I say it compares real well because being able to have young guys that can come in and fill these spots and play up to the speed that they're playing up to is marvelous, man. I'm so proud of these young guys that came in our draft class. They went to work this offseason, and I can't wait for the season to come around.
Yeah, a lot of excitement around you and around a lot of those edge rushers overall. Thanks for taking some time with us here during the preseason game.
Absolutely.
Back to you guys.
Peace.
All right, and Babe, let's take a look at what just happened as they went deep for Reggie Davis.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, and Reggie Davis can really run, and he's got 3 yards on him and just underthrown. Just put it up in the air, give it some air, and let him run under it. And on that ball, too, Ben DiNucci, he's got great protection, but he throws it off his back foot like he's getting rushed, like he's going to get hit. Just step into the throw and get it down the field. He's got that arm. And he had a touchdown there, too, but unfortunately, again, just underthrew it a little bit. But I don't understand why he keeps throwing off that back foot, Michael. And I know he's being coached not to.
Right, I know he is being coached. But also on the other end, Davis, you know, when you run by somebody like that,
yeah,
you know right now he's coming. Even if you just slow down, you could get a PI right there. You know what I mean? As you go back for the ball, if you make an aggressive effort for the ball, that should have been a PI.
2nd down 1. And there's a 1st down for Jacksonville. Grab your Drew Pearson Miller Lite cans in stores today. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. I was looking to see if they had 88 on those cans there.
That is an 88 down there. Now, do you have to?
True.
If you have a 6-pack, do you have to kind of push off on the one to get the other? You know,
that would be the Michael Irvin can.
Michael never pushed off. These guys made contact with him first.
That was just a finding arm, just to find where the man is. That's exactly what Drew did in the Hail Mary. He just found the guy. He didn't push off on that guy.
Good time to look at the all-time receiving yards among Cowboys. Jason Witten tops the list, and Michael Irvin number 2 on the list, and a couple of other 88s on the list, Pearson and Bryant.
What I always liked about your receptions, Michael, that 750, it's easy to remember, you know?
Yes.
It's not a 479, it's not a 628. It's I can, boom, 750.
It's not 1,000 either.
Well,
that's the problem. You know.
They got you to the Hall of Fame, those 750 did.
They did.
Trying to get that football out.
You know, the amazing thing, you know, you look at those numbers, and as you say, 750 and then 1,000. In 1983, when Drew Pearson retired, Charlie Taylor had the most receptions in NFL history, 642.
Right.
Now 642 is like a couple of seasons if you play for
Isn't
kids.
that incredible?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean, you just can't look at numbers.
Charlie Taylor, the former Grand Prairie High Gopher.
You compare
look at you. I know we're losing our entire audience.
Right.
Charlie Taylor was a big receiver before big receiver was in vogue.
He was a good one. One of the best that the Dallas-Fort Worth ever produced back in the day.
Big receivers, man. Just speaking of that, another thing at the Hall of Fame, I watch Harold Carmichael walk right by Mel Blount. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine that matchup? Both of these guys, like 6'5", 6'6" wide receiver, defensive back. Oh my God, incredible.
Man, Luke Gifford.
Yep, Luke Gifford coming up making the tackle on Ben Ellefson.
You know, it's really cliched, and you'd like to lend a lot more expertise and nuance to it, but He's just a football player, that Luke Gifford. I mean, he can play for me on my team anytime. Of course, I don't own one, but.
But you're talking about guys that understand the game.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
little things in the game that makes the game just so incredible. And guys like that, that's what we like to call them a football player, when they don't have any one of those special talents, but they're always right where they need to be.
Which brings you to the depth in that linebacker room, too. Timeout on the field, back to AT&T Stadium. Ninth for the Cowboys watch party at the new Miller Lighthouse here at AT&T Stadium. Doors open at 5:30 before the Cowboys battle Tampa Bay. 60 TV screens will be tuned into the Cowboys season opener, along with live Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders performances, Cowboys alumni, and more. Entry and parking are free. The Miller Lighthouse, located in the West Plaza of the stadium. Visit attstadium.com/Miller Lighthouse. As Jacksonville, after they called the timeout, Jake Luton with the completion to Josh Hammond, and Deshaun Wright getting physical.
Just dropping back right here and finding guys open in that zone.
Jake Luton is
making the right read and making the right play.
Excuse me, he is having himself a ball game here tonight, Michael. He's got 14 out of 16. Has not thrown an interception.
That's 8 straight completions for Luton, too. We're seeing another reason why they decided to go ahead and trade Minshew.
I always defer to those teams when you say, why did they do that? Maybe they like this guy. I would.
He did show some flashes when he got an opportunity to start regular season games last year. 2 close losses. Luke Gifford coming up. Making like Sean Lee there.
Yeah.
Now in retirement, Sean Lee.
There's our man right there. Just flow to the ball. Nobody gets on him. He said, I'll just take care of this myself.
Yeah, let me clean this up now. It's great that Luton out here doing a great job and everything, but they traded Gardner Minshew because he was a starter last year. We can't have anything disrupting what we're about to do with Trevor Lawrence. That's all we're trying to do.
Do you believe that's why?
Absolutely. Same reason at one point Jimmy had to get rid of Steve Walsh. Okay, buddy, now you got to go. You know what I'm saying? And he's my great friend. And I love him.
But it took Jimmy 2 years.
But it was time.
When you
it took Urban Meyer 2 weeks.
Yeah, because times are different now. Remember, we were fitting the quarterback into systems. Now we put systems for the quarterback. So we expect a quicker turn than it was when Troy. It was more difficult for Troy.
Well, I'll just be shocked, Michael, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't become one of the top guys in the NFL. He just has it all.
But how soon?
Yeah.
Everybody wants the meteoric rise now. They want it now.
And of course, they lost their running back, their other first-round draft pick, Travis Etienne, to an injury. There's a fumble. Cottrell scoops it up.
That's a nice loss of about 15.
God.
At least he got the ball back.
In the huddle, he was thinking, oh, man, when they called a play, man, they were going to watch me score a touchdown on TV.
Right.
And then when he fumbled, oh, God.
It turns out to be a loss of 14.
And I believe that was Justin Hamilton who kicked the ball earlier. Let's see if 99 comes in and strips us.
There you
sure
go.
does.
Forced fumble.
Yep.
Justin Hamilton.
He kicked the fumble out earlier. This time he got it with his hand.
34-yard field goal attempt by Josh Lambo is good, and Jacksonville extends its lead to 27-7. No touchdown, though.
Janucci, series of plays here. This is Reggie Lewis where he's got a touchdown. He just doesn't step into the throw. Just hangs on that back foot and doesn't need to because he has a great pocket. Then 4th and 1, little rollout here, and just gets it behind the receiver, or they have the first down there as well. And again, undoubtedly, these coaches are telling him, hey, you got to step into the throw here when you got that pocket. That's Doug Nussmeier. I'm sure telling him just that. Hey, when you get a clean pocket, hey, step, throw into it like a baseball pitcher.
And a guy 3 yards behind the DB. Just let it go.
Kickoff return by Reggie Davis. And gets out to the 26. There is a flag down on that kickoff return. So DiNucci will be backed up again.
That hasn't helped him either. The field position that he seems to take over with.
During the return, holding number 38. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Mukuamu again, the stat stuffer, and we're back after this from WinStar. Mike McCarthy left shaking his head on the Cowboys sideline. Ben DiNucci from the 15-yard line. And he's going deep downfield.
And this time it's Brandon Jones who doesn't know the football is coming his way. He's running down Michael, and he never turns for the ball.
Yeah, and it was great defense right there, too.
Brandon Smith, excuse me.
So a great job at defense right here. You see how he turns his head. Yeah, they never had an opportunity at that. Coming from the slot position too. Even when you're in that slot, you still should keep that DB as close inside as you can and give him all of that room outside to throw.
So now on the ground for a couple for Hardy.
Brandon Smith had the Cowboys' first receiving touchdown.
That's
year.
right.
Got one at Arizona. Yeah, Ben DiNucci, you saw the face on him. He's like, look, I'm having a hard enough time back here without you not turning for the football for me. Here comes the third down. Again, Ben DiNucci wants to stay on the field. He desperately wants to convert this third down, get himself another set of downs.
But not to be. Osiris Mitchell was in the vicinity of the throw from DiNucci. And it's a 3 and out for the Cowboys offense.
And we're not on the same page there. Being through the comeback, and he kept running. So, yeah, that's never going to work.
So punt time for Brian Anger. Earlier in the preseason, we saw Hunter Nicewander, who finished the season as the Cowboys punter. He got placed on IR last week. So it was going to be Anger's job all along, the veteran punter. Pharaoh Cooper on the return. And we're back to AT&T Stadium with more in a moment. The defensive player of the game. How about Jabril Cox? He's got the full load this afternoon. He's got 7 tackles and all over the field, as he has been throughout the last couple of preseason games. Number 48 out of LSU, started his career at North Dakota State Reliant. An NRG company, and down on the sideline, Kyle Yeoman's a very special guest. Kyle.
Yeah, very special guest indeed. It's Ezekiel Elliott, and of course, no pads on again today, but the next time the Cowboys will be on the field, you will be in full pads. How exciting is that to think about that in 10 days we're playing real football?
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there, season opener Thursday night in Tampa, and get after it.
Now, lots of expectations around this offense, but you specifically, I know you have a chip on your shoulder this year. What is your message for those of you for those out there that might be doubting what Zeke has to bring?
I don't really care if you're doubting me. I know I need to do this offseason to make sure I'm ready to go out there and had a year that I need to have. I want to do it for my teammates. I don't have to do it for anyone else.
What's your expectation for your own season and what you feel like you have in store?
Just to win a lot of football games. I want this team to win a lot of football games, and I want to do whatever I need to do to help them do that.
And I asked this same question to DeMarcus Lawrence a minute ago about the defensive line, but in terms of the offense, where does this talent level compare to those that you have been in throughout your time in the NFL?
It's definitely probably one of the best offenses I've been on, but I mean, we keep saying we got the talent. We got to go out there and do it.
Absolutely. Ezekiel Elliott joining us here on the sideline. Back to you, Bill.
All right, thanks, Kyle, and thanks, Zeke. As Jabril Cox in on another tackle there. Jacksonville moves the chains. Look at Zeke entering his 6th year in the National Football League. It's hard to believe it's already his 6th season, he and Dak. And the numbers. There's Emmett at the top of the list, followed by another Hall of Famer in Tony D, and Zeke number 3 on the all-time list.
Zeke said something, though, in that interview. We've talked about it enough. It's time to go out and get it done.
Zeke is looking up at that list saying, I've got 11,000 more yards to go to catch him. 11,000?
Zigbo moves the chains.
Everything changes, obviously. And it's cyclical, but right now it's a passing league. And as we sit here today, Michael, you don't see it going away, but I don't see anyone getting near Emmitt Smith the way that running backs just don't carry the ball.
No. It's incredible because now, running backs, if you're ever going to pass them, you have to do it in the first 2 contracts, because after that, they're pushing you out or certainly moving you because you're worth too much and they're going to get somebody else more value. So, yeah, it may be there forever.
First down from the 40. Jacksonville's number 22 picks up 11. Michael, let me ask you, what are your expectations for this Cowboys offense? What do you see when you see this offense?
Well, we keep talking about the great skill that this team has, and they do have that skill, but I want to see what Zeke was talking about. Okay, let's stop talking about it and let's show up and get it done. So let's get it done. I think this offense can be as good as we've seen in a long time, especially around here. But, boy, we got to show up and get it done, and you got to keep the guys healthy on that offensive line.
From the 29-yard line, Zigbo slips out of a tackle, finds the outside, down the sideline. The man from Saxe High School here in Dallas-Fort Worth has another big run. Wide receiver-wise, Michael, you got with Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup. It's pretty special, isn't it?
It really is, and listen, CD had a great year last year, man. The one thing that I missed last year outside of the fans being in the stadium that I'm heard about is, God, I would have loved to see how how CD developed if he had Dak all season long.
He's been very impressive in the preseason. Of course, he went on the COVID list this past week. Zigbo makes another move down to the 4-yard line.
The amazing part about CD Lamb's season last year was, remember, he didn't have an OTA, he didn't have a mini camp, he had no preseason game, so he kind of got thrown out there.
Showed up.
The NFL passing tree is just so much different than what they run in college. As a matter of fact, they don't even get into huddles.
That's right.
I was talking to Keller Moore, who we see there on the right side of the screen, the Cowboys offensive coordinator. He said, some of these guys, we have to show them where to line up. They're very uncomfortable getting into a huddle because for the longest time, high school included, you just stand at your position, you look at the sideline, and they flash the play in.
Zigbo reaching for the goal line, and he is in for the touchdown for Jacksonville. Divine Ozigbo out of Nebraska has a preseason touchdown for Jacksonville.
Mike McCarthy not looking all that happy, and Jake Luton leads him down to another touchdown here. Trevor Lawrence went 11 of 12 in his time in this football game. Luton is now 16 of 28. They're 27 of 30 combined throwing the football.
So he's 16 of 18, Luton.
Yes.
Yeah, so 27 out of 30. And Jacksonville tacks on another 34-7 with 2:41 to play in this 2021 preseason. WinStar World Casino and Resort, proud to be the official casino of the Dallas Cowboys with the WinStar play of the game. And there it is. The Cowboys found the end zone with Garrett Gilbert throwing the touchdown pass. And that is your WinStar play of the game. Aaron Parker on the receiving end. Otherwise, it's been all Jacksonville today, 34-7.
It has been.
Kickoff goes through the end zone, and so the Cowboys will take over at their own 25-yard line. Did we get some answers on Garrett Gilbert today, Babe?
Well, he certainly had a better opportunity to play and show himself, and converts a 4th down here. And then, as we saw earlier, the touchdown to Aaron Parker. Really nice throw there. So I'm sure, I don't know what's going to happen, and I always say I don't sit here and cut the football team, but I'm sure he's pretty happy about the way he played this afternoon.
So Ben DiNucci from the 25-yard line. Who will be the Cowboys' backup quarterback? Will it be Rush? Will it be Gilbert? Will it be someone who's not on the current roster? We'll start finding out those answers this coming week. And on Tuesday, the cut-down day, flushed out is DiNucci, throws it out of bounds. But Michael, how excited are you for September 9th in Tampa Bay?
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the season started, man, and for the Cowboys to be going into Tampa to get that measuring stick right off the top. All of this talk, and Zeke just talked about all this talk about the talent. Oh, you're getting a great measure stick. It's one thing to go and beat Tampa, but to go back to Tampa, where they just won the Super Bowl, the first team to stand on their own home ground and receive the ultimate crown. Now you have to go in and try to disrupt that and disturb it, because you know they're thinking we can't come in and lose our opener after winning the Super Bowl. So it's going to be an incredible game.
Well, what I like, Bill Jones and Michael, it's the fact that a lot of people are already chalking that up, and I know the way this works in our world, as a loss. Like, well, they'll lose to Tampa. They can beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's not going to be that much of a mismatch. Tampa Bay better? Yes. But I don't sit here today as we sit here and say they have no chance. They do have a chance.
And pass goes incomplete as we reach the 2-minute warning here in the 2021 preseason.
Here, at the end of the day, wrap it all up. We want to win games. Let's score more points than the other team. As simple as that. Okay? What's a top offense in the NFL the Dallas Cowboys look like? I could say it. I'd rather a couple other people say it.
2 running backs. One, we're going to protect the football. When you got the ball in your hand, that's the whole team. 2, we're going to protect the quarterback. And 3, we're going to do everything violently. That's blocking, that's running the ball, that's everything.
Zach.
Yeah, as a quarterback, we're going to be elite, efficient signal callers that are going to be consistent in our decision-making and our leadership. We will do whatever it takes for this team's success and this offense's success, whatever it takes.
The ruling on the field is a fumble. Inside of 2 minutes, only the fumbler can advance the ball. Since Dallas number 69 advanced it, the ball's dead by rule there. We also had defense offside. Number 92. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Remains first down. Correction, 4th down.
So they'll do 4th down again. As you were watching a scene from Hard Knocks, there is the offsides, and there is the fumble that can't be advanced, and it's offsetting. And so here we go again with 4th and 8 once again. But I love seeing the leadership of Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott in that team meeting room.
Yeah, and that was a coach, and those guys are making sure that the rest of the guys hear those voices, because they'll hear those voices in the games, leading them also. So to get that right there, and one of the things I used to always tell Dak and Zeke when I saw them as young men, I said, man, you guys are together. Make sure you're talking about winning championships. You know, it's one thing to hear it from the coach. It's another thing to hear the players talking about it all the time. And I hope that they're talking about getting far into the playoffs also.
There's a pickup inside Jacksonville's territory. Brandon Smith on the receiving end, the 4th down conversion. There's Brandon Smith again.
That was a nice pitch and catch there, Michael. Good timing by DiNucci and Brandon Smith. Come back, hit the back foot.
Getting that ball up and over so it comes back, you know what I mean? That's a great throw. You're right, great timing.
Hopefully it gives DiNucci, just a little bit of confidence here, too. You know, you hit a couple, make a 1st down and 4th down, all of a sudden you say, okay, I got this.
But that earlier pass, he leans back when he lets that ball go. And at this level, you can't do that. It takes too much velocity off the ball.
So from the 37-yard line, there's Johnny Dixon, another first down inside the 20.
Talk about preseason, the importance of winning. I think for Jacksonville it's bigger because remember they won their first game last year, then they lost their next 15. They came in the preseason, they lost their first 2, so they were literally riding a 17-game losing streak, and I know what preseason means, but 17 times they've walked off the field. They aren't particularly losers themselves, but as losers in the game. So I think at some point you got to have that feeling of walking off and shaking hands with everybody and being happy about what you just did.
Quan Hardy out of bounds. And by the way, that quarterback, you saw Trevor Lawrence, he's lost, 2 preseason losses. He lost 2 games in college at Clemson, and he lost 2 games in high school also. A total of 4 losses in his life before this preseason.
High school and college, he never lost a regular season game.
Right. And you better believe he's better prepared. You're going to get your record early.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to lose more than 2.
He's going to lose more in that first week or the first year than he did in his entire career.
No, the first month.
Okay.
The first month.
And how about that? Ben DiNucci to Johnny Dixon. Converted a 4th down earlier on the drive, and then right down the field to Johnny Dixon for the touchdown.
All right, that's a good throw down. And he was patient and could have even been a little more patient. Now, he had to go up and make the play, and he did get up and make the play, but that's a good opportunity right there. It's a good throw, good placement, and a good play.
And Greg Zuerlein, the extra point. Cowboys get their 2nd touchdown of this final preseason game. 34-14, Jacksonville leads.
And we don't know what the next couple of days are going to hold for these guys, but Johnny Dixon and Ben DiNucci can walk off on most likely their final drive of the preseason and feel pretty good about it.
It's a Ford scoring drive of 75 yards in 7 plays. Ford, built for Texas, built for you.
About going up, making a play, baby.
Yeah, and you see Dak Prescott coming over and fist bumping Ben DiNucci, and hey, you spent a lot of time. I don't need to tell you, Mike. You spent a lot of time in the room, in the facility with these guys, months and months and months. And I always refer to it as the world's longest job interview. These guys come in April, and you find out here in September, a couple days, do I have a job or don't I? Another job like that in the world where you have a 5-month interview.
Yeah, you pull for guys, man.
You do.
You really do. You pull. And I love seeing Dak this late, running around, running up to everyone, you know, just encouraging them, coaching them, helping them, mentoring. Just a great leader.
And he's been engaged throughout. Of course, he's always been like that in his career, but throughout this training camp, even when he wasn't participating in practice, so engaged in the offense. We showed you the first half of the regular season schedule. This is the way the second half plays out for the Cowboys, including a trip to Kansas City, Thanksgiving week, back home to face the Raiders on Thanksgiving, and then 3 straight road games at New Orleans, at Washington, and at the Giants in December. That's a stretch of 4 road games in 5 weeks. As Jacksonville will take a knee to close things out here.
You know what's funny about looking at that schedule too, you say, well, that's going to be hard, that's going to be hard, should beat that team, and then that game rolls around and it's all flipped, and the team you didn't think was going to be any good has a great season, and the team you thought was really going to be difficult becomes another story. Mike McCarthy.
It usually works that way. But I love that they got both. They get both Super Bowl contenders last year, and one in the first half of the season, or other in the second half of the season, so you can start and get a measure of where you are, go through half a season, and then get another measure of where you are. So that should help a lot.
By the way, as the clock winds down, I want to thank our executive producer, Scott Purcell, producer T-Man, Mark Titleman, Brian Lilly, our director, Kyle Collins, the technical director, Dave Ernst, technical manager, John Ingham on graphics throughout this preseason. We are ready for some regular season football, wouldn't you say, guys?
That's going to be fantastic. Tampa Bay, Thursday night, only game, obviously the kickoff game, literally, for the NFL on Thursday, September 9th. And here comes Tom Brady, Michael Irvin.
Who said I'm going to kick your boys. and it was not a word I could say to everyone else out here. But I tell you what, imagine this for a moment. If they win that game.
Oh.
Holy moly, it's going to get crazy.
Michael, we got to close out the preseason like we always do. You have to close out the preseason like it's a school closing.
Yeah, hey, listen. Thank God the preseason is closed. We can get to the regular season.
It is closed. We will see you at Tampa Bay Thursday night, September 9th.